Hi Leo, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Check them out for all three so that you know which part of you I resonate with most as a reader. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. Use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have, if you are a continued subbing, you know Rafi loves you. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose, and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. So you got the moon card this week, right? So the past is alive and kicking, but also remember when the moon card shows up, something about your instincts is kicking in, right? So this week it's very likely you could be really trailing through your memory banks. Maybe there's something that shows up for you this week that triggers a memory of some sort. It could also show you where your primal activators are in some way, shape or form, which kind of tracks actually, because as we're talking, I mean, certainly over the course of this week, we're on the run up to that Pisces eclipse, right? And the full moon lunar eclipse is going to be in the sign of Pisces. So this is kind of a big deal in a lot of ways. And the fact that you have the moon card here, I think there's going to be a lot of full circle moments that show up for you over the course of this week. The other thing with the moon card, it can represent our intuitive faculty, but very often this is where we're somewhat, it's a bit more confusing. It's not like the High Priestess is clear intuition. The moon card is intuition, feeling, triggers, and all the rest of it sort of rolled into one. And it can sometimes highlight our fears. So in a lot of ways, something's going to be revealed to you in all of these different areas of life from or through the past that gets you to see things in a different light, that actually helps you reconfigure or redefine what your fears are and how those things are getting in the way. For your actions and options, you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So this is, I mean, the actions that you're taking, quite frankly, are slow, steady and measured, and they will lead to success. That's the good news. The challenging news is it's going to be slow and steady. If you're looking for hard, fast results that are going to really give you sort of mountains of money and all the rest of it, you're not going to get that. I'm just going to keep it real with you. If you guys been with me long enough, you know I kind of tell you how it is. Now, this could also be a past lucrative opportunity or a past job situation. Maybe you applied for a job once and you didn't get it, and maybe that job interview or opportunity comes back around this week. In terms of the options that are available to you, it's something from your past that was potentially lucrative that maybe you didn't get to fully enact, comes back around, right? So I actually really love this. I think this is great. And in terms of the progress that you're making this week or the actions that you're putting out into the world, you are getting solid results over the course of a year, right? So I want you to think back to this time period of 2023. What was happening for you at that time, right? And then I want you to consider that whatever you're working on, whatever you're starting, whatever you're initiating at this point, it's going to go over the course of the next year and it's going to continue to grow in that space and time. So you've got the Three of Swords in your communications and conversations. So actually this could be a good thing because of the moon, right? So this could be you getting rid of, removing or letting go of, and it might be a bit hard to do, right? Interestingly enough, as many of you know, the weeklies are going into a membership. So I'm changing the way that I do all of this. And it is going to be different for me as well, right? It's not just for you guys. Like, it's going to be a shift and a change for me to switch up everything that I'm doing and, you know, all of this stuff. So that for me speaks volumes, right? Now, another way that this could also show up, so for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this could be you addressing some kind of past trauma around studies, education, your educational pursuits, etc. This could be where you really start to understand, like, wow, you know what, I want to go back to school or I want to retrain, but I'm scared because my teachers always told me I wouldn't amount to anything. Or maybe because, like myself, you tried to study twice and it went completely tits up and it actually ruined your fucking life for a period of time. So do you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Now, for those of you that are employed by somebody else, you got the Three of Swords underneath the Moon card. This is an old problem, challenge, or issue that is now put to bed. And it's put to bed because you're finding new work. I think a lot of you are going to find new opportunities. I think a lot of you might be interviewing for new jobs. I really get the feeling a lot of you might be revisiting a job interview. Like, let's say you went for a job interview, you really wanted it, you didn't get it, and you were like, oh, well, that's that. Well, that might come back around for you this week. And I've got to be honest with you, I think it could be exactly what you're looking for at this moment in time. But don't make it a knee-jerk reaction, and don't just take my word for it. Feel into it for yourself and ask yourself if it feels, right for you. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is about you letting go of some aspect of the past that's getting in the way of you getting that money, honey. Okay? So this is about you being really honest with yourself about what your hurts or hang-ups are from the past, what has been somewhat emotionally challenging or even mentally draining for you, and being really honest about it and saying, okay, you know what, there needs to be a shift point here, and to know that this is going to take time. It's not going to be something that gives to you overnight. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, it's possible that some of you could be shifting or changing the place or the home that you live in. It's not guaranteed, it's just for a select few of you. For your love and relations, if you are single and looking to mingle, then you are probably connecting with an Emperor. The Moon card is here, so this might be somebody that you've dated in the past. Maybe it's somebody that reminds you of somebody that you had a difficult relationship with, and yet this is not the same person. This is one of those times where Tarot is basically saying your hurts, your traumas, your triggers from the past are potentially stopping you from enjoying the life that you could have right now because you're constantly living in the past. You've got to find a way to let it go. Just because somebody has the same name as your ex doesn't mean that they're the same person. Just because somebody looks like or, says a certain thing in a certain way that makes you, do you know what I mean? Drop it. Let it go. Stop holding on to it and be really honest with yourself about where you are doing that. Now, you could be connecting with an Aries person, you could be connecting with a boss. Usually the Emperor shows up as people whose titles are their job. And what I mean by this is like uniformed services, like a lawyer is, a lawyer, a police officer is a police officer, a military personnel is military personnel. Whereas it's like, if you say you work in customer service, yes, your title is your job, but your title isn't a title that people know out in the world. It's just, and that's not to say I worked in customer service for years before anybody thinks I'm out here throwing shade. It's not that. It's usually somebody who holds a title: police officer, doctor, teacher, lawyer, professor. You see what I mean? Like, this is somebody whose title is their job / work identity. Now, for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this is a card of commitment, and it falls right next to the Three of Swords. It's possible for some of you that a recurring issue, the Moon card, recurring issue, Three of Swords, that's come up time and time again, could be the final deal breaker. That's possible for some of you, right? It could also be that the commitment comes to a close because of something that just can't be got past. It could also be that your significant other presents you with some information, an idea, or an aspect of life that you're kind of like, okay, I need to think around this for some time, right? It's not going to be an overnight thing. So it does look like there's some heartfelt heart-to-hearts and debates that will need to happen this week. And then finally, for your money and materials, you have the Four of Cups. So Four of Cups and the Emperor share the number in common. 2 4s represents insomnia. I'm really sorry, Leo, if you've already been having problems to sleep this week, you could be having some more, so I really hope that's not the case, but just watch out for it. Now, when it comes to your money, the Moon card is the past, right, or an echo, And then you've got the Four of Cups, which is really about gratitude and presence. This is about really focusing on how you feel about money, what causes those feelings, and how it shows up as you not getting what you desire or what you want, right? So there is some resistance to the resources this week, and you need to figure out where it's coming from. When it comes to your home and environment, in fact, before we get into that, I do want to remind you, these weeklies will be going into a membership. It's going to be $8.99 a month. So just to let you know, I don't want to blindside anybody, which is why I've given you lots of build up, lots of leeway, right, to tell you that this is coming. They are going into a membership here on YouTube, so you'll be able to sign up for that. There's a link in the description box below. It's going to be $8.99 a month, and I will say there will be other things alongside the weeklies as well that I think you may really enjoy. So with that said, make sure you check it out. If not, stick around for whatever new content I have coming to the channel. For your physical health and vitality, the Four of Cups is your stomach, right? So pay attention to what you're eating this week. This is actually, even though we're past the Virgo new moon, which is the most powerful time of year to detox, I would say to you, this is still a good time. In fact, over the course of the next 4 weeks is a really good time for you to do and when I say detox, I'm not like going into the scientifics of it, because you can't detoxify your body. What I'm saying is, you're cleaning up your diet, you're cleaning up what you're drinking. If you drink too much coffee, if you drink too much soda, all of that kind of stuff, you're getting really serious about how you treat your body by what you ingest. When it comes to your home and environment, the Four of Cups, I think this week a lot of you could be a little bit too insular. So you've got to get out and about, all right? You've got to find ways to get out and about into the world. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.